Maybe you can call the governor and tell him about the hoax. Yeah, it's a hoax. Where's all the patients? Where's the lines of sick people?
Okay, let's go.
All right, here we go, everybody. Welcome to our podcast. So today, me and Starfish are going to talk about COVID-19.
COVID-19.
Conspiracies, misinformation, and victims from all of this. So I'm going to start out with a victim story. So I actually did not see this one in the news when it came out. So this was one that Starfish and I were looking up. But I'm sure there's some people out here that have heard about this, and I can never pronounce her name, Starfish. It's is it Maatje Benassi?
Maatje, I think.
Maatje.
Yeah.
Maatje Benassi. Okay. So this woman ended up being like the center of the coronavirus controversy, actually in China. Okay. Because like everybody, nobody wants to take the blame for the start of this. So like we're trying to now blame individuals apparently. So this poor lady kind of got sucked into all this crap. So she is actually a U.S. Army reservist, mother of two. And she has now become the target of conspiracy theorists who falsely placed her at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, saying that she brought the coronavirus to China. So I don't know. It's just really crazy. So basically, the Chinese Communist Party media is basically put up a bunch of, I think they put her they were spreading like false claims across YouTube with her name. Like they posted like her address, all of her social media, like everything was like plastered all over YouTube. And so like they had to basically, like her and her husband, like they had to like delete everything. And then like all these people like were just blasting them on their social media platforms with like all these false conspiracy theory claims. So this one just really sucks. So she like this was probably at the beginning of the pandemic. Like we're talking like April when I see the article came in from. So basically like her and her husband, they just have these government jobs. I think they were in China, let's see, competing, weren't they? It was like some sort of, like a cycling competition there. So Benassi, actually, she was in this cycling competition in China. And this was like hosted by, I think it was the city of Wuhan where the outbreak happened. And so coincidentally, they were there. It doesn't say when it was, but it must have been like around like the time of the breakout of the coronavirus in China, I think.
I think they were there for the there's something called the military. They're like the military Olympics. And I think that it was in October. Yeah.
So that was like, that probably would have been the time when the outbreak really did start in China. It was probably like last fall for sure. So
right, 2019.
That makes sense. So basically what happened is she suffered like an accident on the final lap. And so she left with a fractured rib, which that sucks, and a concussion. So despite the crash, it says she still finished the race. So good for her. That's awesome. But then it turned into something worse. Cause then, like the Chinese media got a hold of it and they just kind of picked her like out of random, just cause there was that story of her crash. And so they just picked her to pick on and say, oh my gosh, this U.S. military personnel brought the coronavirus to China, which is like totally insane. And so all the, then now she's got like China people after her. And then on top of that, then she's got all these weirdos here that are like, oh my God, this lady, it's true. the US military planted the virus in China, all these like really nut jobs that like just have nothing better to do than believe everything that's posted online, across YouTube, like random YouTube videos from China. Great.
Yeah. One of the guys, or the guy who spreads it primarily, his name is George Webb, I think. He has a YouTube channel, and he connected them with this DJ also called Benassi, because, well, they're both named the same, and he, he was in another country that had a big breakout, and so, well, there you go. It's just this connection. They just had the same last name. That's it. And the DJ came out later, and he's like, I don't have anything to do with this.
Oh my God. So now it's like, not only are we targeting this lady who's completely 100% innocent, and I mean, she didn't even have the coronavirus or any symptoms at all whatsoever.
Right.
So now we're also going to target anybody with the last name Benassi. We're just going to go after the Benassis, everybody.
Right. Right.
They started the coronavirus. Look out.
I know. I feel so bad for this family. I have a little clip here if you want to listen to it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's listen to it.
Execute them by firing squad. We need to be killing these key people. These people will get a bullet to the skull.
It's unreal. And the danger he put us in, unreal.
Okay, hello everyone. This March 20th here.
The conspiracy theory has even reached China. Webb has been featured in media controlled by the Chinese Communist Party, which has sought to deflect blame for the coronavirus.
Have you been able to get help, protection from law enforcement?
Because they're not direct threats where they say, we're coming to kill the Benassis tonight. There's not a lot that they can actually do. And then they say, go talk to a civil attorney. So we did. For folks like us, it's just too expensive to litigate something like this.
Could you talk me through the specific evidence you have that she is, as you described, coronavirus patient zero?
Yeah, well, I have to, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence, and then there's a source here that I cannot reveal.
So specifically on Maatje Benassi.
Well, I have a source at the Fort Belvoir Community Hospital, and she actually works where I have someone saying that she works at the Fort Belvoir Community Hospital, and she tested positive for the coronavirus.
She denies that.
She denies that? Does she deny that she works at the Fort Belvoir Community Hospital?
She denies that she's had the coronavirus, that she has any symptoms of the coronavirus. She and her husband don't have the coronavirus.
Yeah, that is a crazy one.
Yeah.
Just one last thing about this story, which is that they put up a GoFundMe page because in the clip they talk about how they don't have enough money really to sue somebody, and they've talked to other people who have sued for defamation, and it costs a fortune. Like they said up to $300,000. This other couple said it cost them.
Oh my God.
So they put up a GoFundMe to try to get this out. They said our simple cease and desist letter sent by our attorney to our harasser, which I think they consider George Webb, but I'm not sure, that the conspiracy guy, was $1,700. And to write that letter, we had to put up a $2,500 retainer. So they were able to get that much on GoFundMe so far. My attorney told us that initiating a civil lawsuit would take an additional $10,000 retainer and upwards of $125,000 in total costs. And like I said, recently we spoke with an individual who successfully won a similar harassment suit, and his attorney fees were over $300,000.
Wow.
I know. And then it says, it goes into the updates, and they're talking about, we're hoping that this gets out more. And then, as I mentioned, they talk about Section 230, and it's called the Communications Decency Act. So that was an update as of December 18th that he put that up. So that's pretty recently, just this last couple weeks.
And so, yeah, and this is for the Benassis, right? Like they're trying to get there. That just really sucks. I mean, that's just like basically life ruining money. I mean, who has $300,000 sitting around to fight lawyers? Nobody has that. You know?
Well, and I mean, they're going to have to try to get this from other people. And then I think of others who have been able to get a ton of money by doing things that they probably shouldn't have been doing in the first place. We can probably, I'm thinking of Kyle Rittenhouse, the kid who went up to Kenosha and shot
Right. Yeah.
people. He raised $2 million, like boom, overnight. Just crazy amounts of money because it was so publicized. And yet these poor people their lives are in danger, Yeah.
And, absolutely.
They did nothing,
Right.
They can't even, their GoFundMe, I think the maximum amount they've gotten as of today is $1,785. That's it.
That sucks.
Yeah. Anyway.
That does suck.
Mm-hmm.
We should put their GoFundMe up on our little thing for people if they want,
I agree.
It's just bullshit.
It is bullshit. It is total bullshit to have to crowdsource your legal funds so that your life isn't ruined. It's just fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Another one that I was looking at was the Florida taxi driver that believed that he claimed that the coronavirus was a hoax.
I thought it was maybe the government was trying something and it was kind of like they threw it out there to kind of distract us.
He has the Facebook post to prove it, downplaying the seriousness and sticking to his faith, saying God is bigger than this virus will ever be.
I'd get up in the morning and pray and trust in God for his protection, and I just leave it at that. It was like all these masks and gloves, and I thought that it looked like just a hysteria.
He said that he read claims online that the virus was fabricated and linked to the 5G or similar to the flu. So again, these people are like YouTube surfing.
Right.
Which I've been guilty of, but I do try to at least like research it just a little bit more than just like being like, okay, I'm going to believe that now. Yeah, that's pretty insane. But anyway, so this couple, I guess they didn't follow any health guidance or seek any help. They got sick in early May. Brian actually did recover, but unfortunately his 46-year-old wife passed away from it, the complications, because she had some underlying heart conditions. So unfortunately he lost her to that. And I mean, he told the BBC, it looks like, he said that it's basically the cost of coronavirus misinformation at the time, so that just sucks. I mean, I guess his wife was a pastor in Florida.
Huh.
And she suffered from asthma and sleeping disorder. So I'm just going to go off on a little tangent here. So, I mean, I work on the front lines, and I received the vaccine last week. I did not have any reaction, like the cabal, I don't think had anything to do with my vaccine. So honestly, I can say like some of my coworkers had like some real mild-ish symptoms from getting the vaccine. And the thing is, I really feel like just your makeup, your DNA and everything has something to do with how you react to this stuff, like some people are just more prone to having stuff like that. I had a coworker tell me that he had like a light nausea feeling. There was another coworker that said that too. For like a day, they were just slightly nauseous, and then it went away. But he had like muscle aches, like his muscles were kind of tight for a day, and then that went away. But he said it lasted like maybe like a day after, and then he was totally fine.
That sounds a lot less harsh than the tetanus shot, which hurts your arm for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He said that his arm was sore for like an hour after. He's like, it felt like, when I was a little kid and my brother punched me in the arm and gave me a dead arm. But other than that, I mean, I think people are getting like some mild reactions like that. But I think you can also get those reactions from the flu shot as well.
Right.
So
And a lot of people say that. They say, oh, I get sick after the flu shot. Yet we still take it every year because it's less worse than the actual flu.
yes,
Right.
like you're trying to condition your body to be able to fight whatever this is off so that you don't get the serious sickness to it. So what it is, it's a cycle of 2 shots. They're about a month apart. So I'm going to go, for my second dose, like in 3 weeks or something. And so the first dose is kind of an introductory dose. The second dose is a lot stronger. So, it might be a little bit worse with, the symptoms that people get with the second one. So I'll definitely report back on that.
Sure.
Because I think, the truth needs to be out there. So, because I really do believe in this vaccine. I think everyone, there's no reason why people should not get it unless there's people that have a lot of weird allergies out there too, that they react to everything under the sun. So
yeah,
I could see those type of people being a little bit more, not so wanting to try it or do it, like be scared to do it.
Right.
So, and that's what the flu shot. I mean, they ask you, like, do you have allergies, for like eggs or, chicken or, like they ask if you have certain allergies when you take your flu shot. So right. I think it's kind of the same thing with the COVID vaccine. So, and I just think it's the going to be the best bet for us to get out of this thing. Like we have so many people that are so screwed over, people can't find work. They're, living in really bad conditions right now. They're really suffering.
Right. Well, we were just given $600 though, so we're going to be okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Moscow Mitch.
Nobody likes that guy.
I hate him so much. I really hate him.
I cannot believe he blocked that. And it's not like that was even that much more for the people who've been suffering this whole time. I mean, we're lucky. We have jobs, but
right.
Wow, thanks. This one lady's like, that ain't even enough to pay my rent. Right?
Yeah.
It's not enough to pay anybody's rent unless you're living in a bedroom or something by yourself. Even then, it's still expensive.
I know. Yeah. It's just like such a ridiculously stupid amount. I mean, it's better than nothing, but
it is.
It's almost an insult.
It is. It is almost an insult. It's a weird number too. $600. Where do they get this?
I'm like, where did that come from at all?
I have no idea. But I think, I hear a lot of people saying, when is this going to end? When are they, when I say they, I don't know who they mean, but I think they mean the governors and the people who are in charge of making these things. When are they going to let us out? When is this going to end? And my thought is when everybody's vaccinated, right? So,
right. Yeah.
I mean, don't you have to hit a certain amount of people before it's
like
herd immunity or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the numbers definitely need to go way down. Like we don't want to see a whole lot of hospitalizations or anything like that.
Right.
And then you can be like, we're going to reopen everything now because people are, not going to pass it to everybody.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. And I understand the fears around vaccinations, but I love that people are doing it online. So even a lot of the senators, Lindsey Graham, Marco Rubio, of course, Biden and Harris, and all of them have taken their vaccinations. Pence, I think, too. And so I think that helps because then people see it. Oh, you're getting it and you didn't die.
Right.
And that's not to say nobody dies from vaccinations. It happens. It's like 1 in a million, but it happens. And I still think that it's still worth it though.
Yeah.
Because, the chances of you getting COVID are much higher than that. And the chances of you dying of COVID are much higher than that, than dying from the vaccine. I did have somebody say, oh, did you know you have a 1 in 10 chance of dying from the vaccination? And my head exploded. Like, where'd you get this information?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to dig that up. And then also, Why would you think that would be true? Why would they be giving you something that would kill you more easily than the thing itself?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of crazy to me and totally insane that, some of these like things that people believe about all of this. It's just super crazy to me.
Yeah. It's like, feels like a general mistrust of science, of health. A lot of the people that I know are anti-vaxxers are also anti-doctor. They don't go to the doctor unless it's emergency, and then thank God
Right.
the doctors are there.
Yeah.
And as I've said before, I hate to make fun and dismiss their fears. I don't want to dismiss their fears. I want to talk to them about their fears and walk them through and say, listen, I don't want a vaccination. When I take my kids in, I don't want them to be shot. It hurts, and it hurts them, and it traumatizes them a little,
Right. Yeah.
But I have to trust these people, and I have to trust that they know what they're doing, because I mean, I guess it's just, I don't fear that it's another fun conspiracy that we'll have to dive into, which is that they're putting chips in us, or that these are going to kill us or something.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That one we should definitely talk about.
Yeah.
It goes back to the lizard people, and you know how much I like talking about the lizard people. So
yes, absolutely. Oh boy. Anyway, well, thanks for sharing your story about your vaccination. I think that helps people understand it too.
Yeah. Like I really don't I did not feel like it's an unsafe thing to do at all. Like I was fine with it, because honestly, I cannot wait to, be able to see some friends again and hug people again. Because I'm like all by myself here. So,
yeah.
And it's getting old. So,
yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way. I think a lot of people want to give hugs. It's really hard not to be around other people. Do you normally do vaccinations?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Would they not let you back to work unless you took it?
No, they're not doing that. I mean, so what most, because that's another thing that, false information is, they're like, oh, well, they're not going to let me go back to work if I don't get the vaccination. That's not true. They can't force people to do it. If you refuse to do that, like, then you just have to wear a mask at all times, which we're already doing anyway. So like some of them are just not doing it for that reason. But like the people that I work around, most of them, pretty much all of them have taken the vaccine already. Like pretty much all of my coworkers have done it. Cause like some of them have had a lot of scares, like really bad scares. We actually almost lost a few people too,
because
like they got so sick from it. Yeah.
Wow.
That they almost died, and they were like terrified.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying for us. Cause I mean, I really do like some of the people that I work with, believe it or not. And like it would be terrible to lose anybody, like any coworker from that. So I think the people that are more apprehensive about it, coincidentally, one of my coworkers is Native American. And so she's really apprehensive about it, actually. Yeah. And I can totally understand her point of view, but she's also allergic to a lot of things. So, I mean, those are the only people I've come across that are like apprehensive about it,
Yeah.
They're just worried that they might have a really bad reaction or something. But yeah. I mean, they make you stand, they do make you stay there for 15 minutes for observation. So like if you were going to have like hopefully not, but like if you had an anaphylactic shock, reaction, there's plenty of people around that could jump in and help if they needed to.
Well, that's good. That's good.
I think it's totally 100% safe how they're doing it. So
do you still have to wear masks then until you get the third one, right?
Even after that, I don't know that we'll stop wearing masks on the front line. But for sure, yeah. I don't know when
you have trouble breathing in your mask.
It does get kind of annoying, having it on your face like every single second all day. But we pretty much have gotten used to it.
Yeah, I hate them. I never go anywhere where you need a mask because I hate it so much. I have glasses and they just
It's like fogs them all up.
you can't wear it. I walk around with them up on my head because I can't. Yeah.
I know.
And so I hate them, and I know people hate them, and I know people. They say like if you don't want to be exposed, then don't go outside. Well, I think it's the opposite. If you don't want to wear a mask, then don't go outside.
Right.
Yeah,
don't go to the store then. Like don't go in a store.
Right. Just order it online. You can order everything online. I was already doing that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You can even have liquor delivered. So there you go.
You can have everything
here. I don't know if everywhere has that, but
yeah, I don't know either. But it was a priority.
Yes.
You have. I mean, you need the things to get you through too. I mean, this has been kind of a miserable year. So I was looking at all the things I bought. And I'm like, why did I buy that? Thinking it would help me get through, but this has just been rough. And I know everybody's just so ready for it to be over. And I'm really glad that they have a stupid vaccine finally, and that we can see the end of the tunnel. I've heard somewhere in June or hopefully not as long as the fall, but I've heard around summertime it should be.
Yeah.
I think Dr. Fauci said that.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to God that that's the case, so we can get people a little bit, in a better situation for sure.
Right.
It's really bad. Like, I just can't believe our crappy ass government just sits there, It's like holding everyone hostage.
It does feel like that. And I know that they're just doing the best they can. And also they're backing off on things that they're like, hey, we don't want to, if you want to do it, go ahead, and you're putting people at risk. But one interesting thing about this that I learned is that this is a public health issue, not a personal health issue. And a public health issue is a little different, like seatbelts, drunk driving. Those are public health issues too. And it's because of how it can I think of those zombie movies, where that's a public health issue, because it can spread so quickly that it can literally wipe out the whole planet. And we have no context of that because we've never experienced anything like that. But same thing. Drunk driving kills like a lot of people. So does COVID, because of your behavior around other people. It's not just you, it's how you're interacting with other people. And I don't want to make them dismiss those feelings of not wanting and feeling like your freedoms are being taken away, but also we have to be conscious of our fellow human beings,
Absolutely. Yep. Definitely.
And as a segue, why are they so willing to reject the vaccination but take other things, like other things that are really unhealthy for them, like hydroxychloroquine? Hydroxychloroquine, and a little bit of where Trump may have gotten some of this information.
Thanks, everyone, for listening to Real Talk. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen. We look forward to having you on our next one.